Welcome back to 30-Day YouTube Challenge. Today is day 7, and I'll be talking about an unusual interest I have or an unusual aspect about me. When I read that um, topic, I think the first thing that came in my mind was the cold exposure, and it all started. At this point, I think it's maybe even 10 years ago, um, where one of my friends told me about Wim Hof. So I started to do the breathing and cold showers, and I think I got to week 10 of his program where there were like exercises that you would have to do where it was specific amount of um, breathing rounds, plus how long you need to stay in the cold shower. And I remember that was on week 10, there was one time when I had to do, I think it was 10-minute cold shower. Yeah, it was 10 minutes because it felt impossible for me. 10 minutes felt so long in the cold. Where I remember after the gym, I got my courage up and I went in that shower. And I remember there was a moment when I was able to shift or switch within my mind somehow where the cold water started to feel warm. And there was something unex it was really weird experience because I know it's cold, but it started to feel like warm where I didn't feel the cold at all. And it was all just within my with my mind. And at the time, I'm still fascinated with the mind, the power of the mind, and our potential. So at that time, I was really into it, and I was like, "Whoa!" I actually experienced it. Um, And I would just keep doing it on and off, like cold showers and Wim Hof stuff for probably good like 7 years until I got to the the open water swims. I didn't do too many outdoors. Mainly it was just indoors or like just like cold shower. But after so it was I think 3 winters ago, 3 or 4, where at the time, I was staying at my parents' property, and my dad was doing the cold swims, just going to the river. And I remember that summer, I went to river once, and it was so cold that I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go. Like, I'm not coming back." um, and because like that river it has a lot of like shadows over it, so it's pretty much like always cold. And then my dad started like I credit him the baby steps where he's tracking his habits. And one of his habits was to do the swim. And at the time I had started my own habit of doing cold shower. And I was like, well, like if he's doing it, I might as well just do the river as well. And I remember I just kept doing every day. And and then the curiosity came in, and I was like, "What if I can do the cold swim with, like, 0 degrees outside?" So I did that, and then I was like, "What if I can do it with snow?" I did that. "What if I can do, like, -5 degrees, -10 degrees, -15?" So I got to, like, -16 was the coldest one, and actually on that day, it took me another 2 hours before I did the swim just to find a space where I could do the swim. Because it was like rock like it was frozen so deeply or the ice was so like thick, that there was no way I could like I just couldn't get through with it. Um, and at least at the spots that I would usually go to or the usual process that I would have. I didn't think which later my brother came in with that where he just like made a hole a bit deeper. Um and yeah, so I did 90 days, and there's so many lessons that have come from it just from those 90 days. I have kept doing it like every season. And now like recently I had a conversation with my teammates that like we're really looking forward to the cold swim season start. And I had conversation with my open water swim buddies as well, whether they're doing the cold swims. So I'm really looking forward to this season, and there's a lot of the things that cold has taught me. There's endless lessons, really, and there's been times when I thought, like, I think the second season after I did those 90 days, the next winter I went to the swim, and I had this mindset of like, well, I have learned everything that there is to learn, and that cold proved me wrong. So yeah, I would say that's one of the unusual interests that I have, and it's also one of the reasons why I actually didn't end up moving back to UK, because after I experienced the cold, I was like, I s- I want cold. I want to be able to practice it and to do it, and it's way different than ice bath or cold shower, because with the when you're doing it outdoors, one is you first of all you're cold by the time you get to the water. So it's not like I'm warm and then I need to get in the water. I actually have to get to the water through the cold. So you're already exposed to the cold, and a lot of times it feels much colder in the air, or like the air temperature can get below zero, water temperature can't. But the water is a bit more dense, so like you still feel it. A lot of times it ends up feeling colder, unless you like in minus 16 degrees when I did it. That was Celsius, by the way. Um, when I did it minus 16, the water actually felt warm, and I was surprised about it. But then it made sense because the air temperature or water temperature in comparison to air temperature actually is way colder. And yeah, so like that's another thing to keep in mind when I'm doing those is, which also adds to the mental game of it all, is that it's not just getting there um and also once I get out, it's not that I'm in the warmth. I have to calculate properly to make sure that when I'm out of the water, and there's been times when now like the place that I go to, for the most part, you can get in sauna, there's like a changing room. But I would go to places where there's no changing room indoors, so you have to just change in the cold. So that adds another like minutes in the cold. So that's where it's been really like it's way different. And with that was the reason why I didn't move. Literally, the cold was the main reason why I didn't move back to UK. Since I found the magic of it. So yeah, that's the unusual interest that I have, and that I can't wait. Or one of the main reasons why I get excited about winter and the cold and all the dark, which a lot of people don't look forward to. For me, that's one of the things that gets me excited, is to go do my cold swims. All right, and tomorrow I'll be talking about a challenging obstacle I have overcome in my life. Oof, I will just one. All right, see you tomorrow.